Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Straight Out of Boston, and today I'm back with a little bit of NBA off-season talk. Now, before we get into the bulk of the gameplay, I had a couple clips here I wanted to show from this online game. First, this nice little chase down block, and then the and one. That was a pretty nice sequence, I thought, but then check out how this game ended. Of course, I'm using the Suns, going up against some guy using the Warriors. You know, guys tend to do that online, but I'm down by 2 late in the game, and TJ Warren gets the bucket and the foul, so we go up by 1, 2.5 seconds left, but you know how 2K goes. Steph Curry fadeaway 3 in the corner. That is the game winner. I guess he had his foot on the line. It was only a 2-pointer, but did not matter. Left but 0.2 seconds on the clock, and that is not enough time to get a shot off. So anyway, I thought that was worth throwing in the front of this video. But in the background for the remainder of this video, we've got some Pro-Am gameplay I'm playing with my pals Matt, Jeremy, and Burns. And we're going up against a, not the best team, but it was, I had a pretty good game in this game, so it was one of the only Pro-Am gameplays I had saved on my computer, and I figured it would be perfect for this kind of video, because what I do want to talk about over this gameplay commentary is kind of the NBA offseason and my thoughts on it. I haven't really had an opportunity to put my thoughts into a video to share with you guys. And obviously there's a lot to get to. It's been a pretty big NBA offseason. Of course, the biggest story of the offseason is obviously Kevin Durant signing with the Golden State Warriors, and how that really changes the structure and the power of the NBA for, potentially years to come. And, I think the initial reaction from everybody was kind of disappointment and, maybe a little bit of frustration with the player for, copping out and going to the best team in the league, a team that had already won 73 games, a team that was a title contender without him, and a team that beat him in the playoffs despite being down 3-1 in that series. So obviously, that was a lot of people's initial reaction, and I was kind of indifferent. I actually like the Warriors. I root for the Warriors. I don't consider myself like a Warriors fan by any means, because I don't want to be roped in as a bandwagon fan. But, when they're playing teams like the Cavs in the playoffs or teams like the Thunder in the playoffs, I usually root for the Warriors. I'm a big Steph Curry fan. I've liked them for a while. And, so I don't, it's not like I dislike seeing Kevin Durant go to the Warriors, because I think it's cool to see a team like that get better. And I think it's going to be cool to see. I don't think they're going to go for the wins record again, the regular season wins record, just because I think, even if it, and we'll never really be able to truly know. Also, take a look at that speed behind the back pass. We'll never be able to truly know whether or not the push to win 73 games affected guys like Curry and Iguodala and them down the stretch. But they will never admit it if it did. But we'll see if that's in their heads as they potentially have a chance to go for 74 wins this year. But I have a feeling that they're going to lay off a little bit in the regular season, try to coast and to save their energy for the playoffs. Because even with that much talent on the team, it will still be a battle. As we saw this year, you can have by far the best team in the league, and the playoffs can still be a very tough challenge. Anything can happen. Injuries can happen. There are a lot of factors that you cannot account for. So, and because of that, it's not like I'm just writing in the Warriors for, the 2017 NBA title. They were obviously going to be the favorites. They're obviously the most talented team in the league and all that. But at the same time, we saw this year, anything can happen. And when there is a guy like LeBron James on the other side, there is always a chance for that guy and that kind of talent, a player that good. There's always a chance for a player that good to win a series like that. Often you hear guys like Bill Simmons say that even even in a league like the NBA, the best player will often win out in a 7-game series. And we saw last year, LeBron James was the best player in that finals, and I think that could be the case again next year if the team's matched up now. It's obviously going to take another incredible effort from guys like LeBron and Kyrie Irving, but I think the thing also with the Cavs is they have a chance to get better. I really didn't think anyone other than Tristan Thompson and Kyrie Irving did much on that team outside of LeBron James. I think that supporting cast has a chance to get better. I'm not sure what they're going to do with their roster. I don't know how drastically different it's going to look, but there's always an opportunity to make trades, and they still have Kevin Love who they can flip. Maybe not in the off season, but maybe they see how it looks or things look at the deadline next February or next March. That is kind of my prediction of what's going to happen with Kevin Love. But the other big NBA offseason topic that I wanted to discuss in this video was, of course, my favorite team, the Boston Celtics, signing perhaps, and I would say definitely, the biggest free agent in the history of their organization, in Al Horford. They just, quite frankly, have never signed a player of his caliber, and it is a pretty big event for the franchise. I think it to start out on kind of a feel-good positive side, obviously Horford makes the Celtics a better team They give up nothing other than the cap space to get him, and I mean they were going to spend that cap space one way or another. So I think getting Al Horford is probably one of the more efficient ways, at least this upcoming season, of spending $30 million. I'm not sure going down the road. I mean that is one of my concerns about the contract, is that Horford is already on the wrong side of 30 as a big man, and he's going to be making almost $30 million for the next couple of years, and going into his mid-30s, that's probably going to be not so worth the money by years 3 and 4 of that deal. But we will see. I mean, the cap is going to continue to rise, so we will see how the contract looks. But that is one of my concerns. But like I said, Horford does make them a better team. There's no doubt about that. They give up nothing to get him, and I think perhaps more importantly than that, it says something about the way the Celtics are viewed around the league now. I mean, a player like Al Horford saw the Celtics as a destination, a place where he wanted to play. I mean, he could have gone to an abundance of places. He could have gone to New York. He could have gone to Miami if they had not re-signed Hassan Whiteside. I mean, I'm sure if he had shown interest in Miami, Miami would have at least considered choosing Horford over Whiteside. He could have gone to Houston. He could have gone to Oklahoma City. I mean, there are a number of places where he could have gone who had the cap space and had the need at center, but he chose the Celtics. And, I mean, I think that says something about where the Celtics stand right now because, like I said, they haven't been able to sign a player of that caliber in the organization's history. And so I think that's a really important step forward for this team to make, and I think that it bodes well for their chances of getting, maybe not signing a guy like a Russell Westbrook or I mean the free agent class is going to be loaded next offseason. I couldn't even begin to list off the names, but anyway, I mean to sign a player of that caliber, I don't know if they're ever going to be able to do that. At least not in the near future, but I think, perhaps trading for a guy like Westbrook and then convincing him to stay after 1 year. I mean, I think just, the fact that the Celtics are viewed more, as a destination now than they really ever have been in the past, I think is just a very good sign, and it doesn't really say anything about, how close they are to a championship or the state of their roster or their assets, but it does say something about the way they are viewed around the league, and I think that is important when it comes to, convincing superstar players to come and play in Boston, because ultimately, at the end of the day, that is what they need to acquire, and Al Horford is not that. He's not going to be the franchise centerpiece. I mean, I really don't need to state that, but anyway, as you can see, the gameplay ends right here. I foul out of this game. We were completely shitting on these kids, and I was putting on a pretty good performance, I thought, but anyway, I kind of let the gameplay drag on a little bit there at the end because I did want to talk about the Horford signing. So anyway, if you guys want to hear some more of my NBA offseason thoughts, let me know. I mean, I could talk about the Russell Westbrook situation. I think that is probably the most interesting ongoing NBA story. I mean, or at least NBA offseason story. We are kind of in the dull part of the NBA offseason, not much going on, kind of past summer league. We do have the Olympics coming up, but the Olympics, I mean, the U.S. is going to win gold. They do every year. If they don't win, maybe I'll talk about it. But anyway, let me know if you guys want to hear some more NBA talk. So anyway, that is going to do it. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.